Originated. Oui, oui.
Croissant.
Eiffel Tower.
Is this how we're really starting?
Croissant.
Or is this the warm up?
This is a warm up. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Hi,
This
and
is
welcome.
the nonsense before the intro plays. And then the intro plays right now.
Bam!
I'm leaving that. How are you?
Neither of those were the music. We were just playing something.
I'm taking off my shoes. I hit the table.
I already took my shoes off, man. We got in here. First thing I did was take my shoes off.
How are you?
Good. This is episode 8. I'm going to say that now.
Oh, yes.
Because we always forget. This is the Morbid and Mundane Podcast, episode 8.
Episode 8.
You probably know that because you clicked it. But if you don't, there you go.
You need to know where you are. You are listening to the Morbid and the Mundane, not another podcast named Morbid.
Wow.
Or Mundane.
There's one called Mundane?
No.
Oh, okay, okay. I know there is one called Morbid, and I feel like we would be good friends.
Crossover episode.
I feel like we're cousins.
Yeah.
With the same, like we just say our family name first. Morbid Mundane is but it's actually Mundane Morbid. But we just say our family name first, and they're Morbid regular.
We need to do a crossover episode that's just Morbid and Morbid.
Morbid. Call him right now. Get him on the phone.
I have a business opportunity.
All right. Listen up.
I feel like they'd be down.
Let's just send them this clip.
Oh, 100%.
No context.
I'm going to add them on Instagram.
And then just this clip gets sent.
Imagine they open up their Instagram DMs and it's just a clip from 2 random strangers.
I feel like that'd be kind of fun. I feel like they'd go for it. They seem like fun, funky people.
I am one of those people who DMs celebrities.
Just, hoping.
Yeah. I will just DM random fucking people.
Adam in there, he DM'd JJ, who plays trumpet with AJR, and got a response.
What did he say?
I don't remember. I'll have to tell you later.
That's so cool. I love AJR.
It's so awesome. I want to go to their upcoming tour so bad.
Next summer we have time. I want to do a road trip.
Ooh, that would be so fun.
I want to pick like their San Francisco show or something like really far away.
He's going to be in Texas by the time it happens, so
we can scoop him along the way.
Yeah, or go in Texas. Just a far one in Texas.
True.
If we can't get the long one to work, but we should be able to if
I
it's
just want
summer.
to go. Like I just want to take a road trip.
I love road trips.
We were talking about that today at brunch.
We did. We had a brunch.
We went to brunch with, get this, Erin.
It's the third name drop of Erin.
We need to get her like a punch card.
Yeah.
It's like 3 name drops and the 4th one is free.
Oh, no, she has to pay for these? It's like an ad. It's a sponsor.
It's like 3 and you get to be on the podcast.
Who do we say should sponsor us early? Oh, Monster.
Oh, yes.
Because it's spooky.
Monster
and
Energy.
Monster is spooky.
We went out and took ghost pictures today and got Monster Energy drinks along the way.
Oh, because those go on the Instagram. It reminded me. Right now, my pictures for the episodes aren't on the Discord because my laptop broke.
Rest in peace, the laptop.
I can do them while we're here, but if you're wondering why they're missing, that's why. So they will be up there soon. I just had to find a way.
Our poor fans.
They didn't get all their pictures for like 2 episodes now. It's so sad. I wasn't thinking about that because I was worried about like other stuff I couldn't do with the laptop not working. Oh, yeah, editing. I was worried because I couldn't edit.
Oh, and you also couldn't take your exams.
Yeah, I had to find new ways to take my finals. Like Adam's laptop in the library were my go-to methods. But yeah, so pictures are missing. I do know. I will fix it soon. I wanted to say that.
What was the last episode that had pictures?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know. There's too many. Wow.
We're going so fast. This is episode 8. We have said that. I totally forgot.
I like that it's an even number.
8 is a lucky number.
It's also divisible by 2 and 4, and 4 is also divisible by 2. It's 2 cubed.
Wow.
2 to the 3rd power.
It's insane. It's crazy that numbers just do that.
It's also Death the Kid's lucky number from Soul Eater.
Yes.
Because it's symmetrical two
in many ways.
Ooh. Which is bogus. It should have been 0.
Yeah. It's a whole circle. Or like a long circle.
Oval.
Ellipse.
I think I just heard a rat.
A rat?
I heard something.
Oh, in the ceiling?
Yeah.
He's just listening to the podcast. It's all right.
For a while, this building was infested with rodents.
Do you remember when the junior high had bats?
Fruit bats.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was fun. You remember my house? Wait, had bats?
No.
That's probably more relevant.
I don't remember your house. When did your house have bats?
Melody didn't tell you there was like 400 bats living in the attic of my house. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, I think it was the first year you were gone for college. And they were bats.
Bats.
That's why there's
freaking bats. I love Halloween. Wait. How did you find out about the bats?
Well, they stink. They poop in the walls.
Oh.
So, or maybe not the guano, but they stink. Something was bad. And we were like, wonder what that is. And we walked outside at night and watched all the bats fly out. So we got it fixed. We put nets out so they would be able to fly out, but not fly back in.
Oh.
So they just relocated they're still around. Like, you can see them at night. So they live in the woods somewhere by my house. So we didn't have to call anyone to, like, come and remove pests because we didn't want them to get hurt.
Right.
So we got them out with the net method. And they now just hang out around our house. But they were living in the house for a little while.
How were they getting in and out of your attic?
There was, like, a small hole in the siding. And bats are pretty, like, they're small. And they're like cats. They can just squeeze in little openings. So we just fixed the siding and had the nets up until they were all gone.
I love bats.
They're
baby
so
bats
cute.
Are so cute.
We took some pictures of them while they were there. It was fun.
Imagine, well, I say imagine, but like opening up a door and it's just a room full of bats. Like, absolutely
Batman.
not. No. No.
Batman's there.
No.
He did it.
But no, I do remember when the junior high was infested with bats. Because we had classes in the library for like a month.
For the bats.
Yeah, because it was one building
Yeah.
that was just completely infested with bats.
That was fun.
Bats, freaking bats! I love.
You already
Halloween.
said that.
I can't help it. That girl, that video, it was what I needed.
It helps, just in general. It just adds to the quality of life.
Bats, freaking bats!
Oh,
I love Halloween. It's like a broken record. I can't.
It's just stuck now. That's the whole episode.
Bats, freaking bats.
Oh, no.
That's the title of this episode.
We're gonna get copyrighted.
From a vine?
Yeah.
Last episode, we were literally singing. What did we sing?
Oh gosh.
Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah.
Belladonna.
I just kind of mumbled it because I didn't want like Billie Eilish to call me and
Belladonna.
be like, "Hey, you can't do that."
She's so pretty.
She is. You've seen the Vogue?
Yes.
She looks so good.
I shared them on my Instagram stories because I was obsessed with it.
It's the new kind of like look she's going for. I enjoy it just as much as I enjoy the old look.
Yeah.
Like I think they're both just godlike.
I just
Whatever
like
she does is just good.
that. I just like I might be reading too much into it, but like going from someone who just wore like baggy clothes and all that stuff all the time to something like the Vogue cover, which was like skin tight clothes but like very elevated and like the pointed shoes and all this stuff. It just felt like a commentary on gender, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
like,
she doesn't have to stick to one style. And I think she said a lot of that is like, just because that has been my style for so long doesn't mean I'm a bad person for suddenly changing it to something else I'm interested in. And I think that's just, she always has like words, that kind of stuff really well, especially about like style.
Yeah.
Because she had such a unique style in the beginning and has switched so like quickly.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It's
Her
just cool.
Calvin Klein ad was my favorite though. Did you see her Calvin Klein ad?
I don't think I've seen it.
It's because, most Calvin Klein is underwear.
Yeah.
So most celebrities do, like, photo shoots in their underwear, and I speak my truth in my Calvins is the thing. Billie's video was her in, like, a seafoam green bathtub wearing, like, all of her clothes. Like, she wasn't exposed at all. You couldn't even see the underwear. But she said I speak my truth in my Calvins. And, like, that was it. It was really good. For no reason.
That's
like,
interesting.
I didn't even see the product, but I knew it was being advertised, and I loved it.
She like, the way she carries herself and words herself about those kinds of things is just really admirable.
I enjoy her.
Whatever the word is.
Admirable.
There we go.
You were close.
You knew what I meant, so.
We went to brunch, and I got day drunk. But I'm of age.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, I am 20.
I had water.
Emily is not of age.
Water.
Emily drove us home, which was very kind.
I was designated driver and water drinker.
Drove my car, which is
the Kia.
A shoebox.
It was my first time driving the Kia. It was very fun.
I got an espresso martini. And let me tell you, it was rubbing alcohol. Like, that was straight rubbing alcohol. There was not an ounce of anything other than alcohol.
It looked like chocolate milk, though.
It looked really good. And then I took a sip of it and was like, ooh, boozy. But it was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah, brunch was awesome.
Yeah. They were playing some bangers in that.
Every song was a hit.
We got to sit outside. The place was so fancy.
So pretty, too.
So pretty.
The overhang with all the plants on it.
And then they were playing Sean Kingston.
What else was on? Oh, there was some great songs. Excuse me? Was that Morse code?
Decode it. Blink twice if you need help.
This is a podcast. They cannot see us blink.
But Erin went to brunch with us, and we got to talk about the podcast a little bit,
That's
which was
two
fun.
Name drops in one.
We finally gave her sticker.
Drink every time we name drop Erin.
Oh, that. We gave the other Emily a sticker as well, so because they're like some of our first listeners.
Yeah, we did. I think we said it. We did a test run of stickers, so maybe.
We gave it to, like, most of the people who have been listening to us since episode 1 have gotten one.
I still have to give it to my people.
Yeah.
So if you normally listen and haven't got a sticker and feel offended, you might have a sticker on the way. I just totally forgot I had the stickers to give out. So sorry about that.
Most of mine. So, but yeah, we have stickers, which is good. Oh, Erin also asked us a question, which I'm going to use as the segue into my story.
Ooh.
She asked us what a scary noodle was.
Oh no, do you have a scary noodle for me
I do
today?
have a creepypasta.
Is it a creepypasta I know?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I decided to do the Backrooms.
I might have read this one like forever ago though.
I doubt it. But I'll tell you why. So, first of all, so what the Backrooms are, a lot of people claim to see them in their dreams. Or some people claim to have, like, died for a few minutes and then this is what they saw after death, kind of shebang.
Spooky.
But most of the time, people who see pictures of them recognize the rooms. So the concept, it borrows from the Matrix theory, which is the one that we all live in a simulation.
Fun.
Originally, I was actually going to do glitches in the Matrix for this episode. But
that's a cool topic.
I thought so too. I just couldn't.
It's like hard to encompass it into
and it was hard to find things that, like, I could sit down and tell you about. It was most of them were stories,
or
you know?
Pictures. A lot of it has a it's hard to portray that through a
Right. I still want to try and do it one day. Just, I feel like it would need
We totally could do it on YouTube because you could show pictures with it.
True.
That could be some YouTube content coming your way.
It was fun. A lot of them are also really creepy. My favorite one I was listening to was this girl grew up at her grandparents' house or would go over to her grandparents' house, and when she was a kid, she remembered bringing, like, scraps of meat to the dog out back. Like, the dog was chained to a shed at night, and she would bring the dog meat scraps, and as she was an adult talking to her family about it, that dog had died 30 years before she was born.
What?
But she could describe it to the T.
That's insane.
Yeah, and she was like, no, he was always chained to the shed. And he was like, yeah, he was chained to the shed, but you never met that dog. She was like, no, I did.
That's crazy.
And then they proved that he was dead. Her and her sister both remember the dog, but it was proven that it had died way before that they came to be part of the family, and there was no pictures of it.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
What is that tapping? The rat. Do you hear him?
I'm kind of scared. That was really rhythmic.
That
was a beat.
This rat either has like the best rhythm of a rat ever, and we need to hire him,
or there's someone in the walls.
Like, have you seen that movie, The Boy, Brom?
Mm-mm.
It was pretty cool. It like was a haunted doll kind of movie, but it turns out it wasn't a haunted doll. There was a guy living in the walls, like moving the doll.
No.
Dude, it's a good movie.
No, I hate that. I hate that so much. No.
It was cool.
No. What? Oh,
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry. So
it was in the trailer. Oh, sorry. Don't watch it now, or watch it in a couple years when you forget that major thing I shared about the plot.
But
it's a mouse.
The concept of the Backrooms borrows from the concept that we all live in a simulation. So with the idea that we all live in a simulation and that the simulation will glitch occasionally, it's from there, taking that, you can compare our world to like video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the loose concept. So in video games, just using that as our vessel to tell this story, in video games, there's a select path that you're intended to go on. Even if it's an open world game, there's only certain things that you're allowed to see, certain characters you're allowed to see, certain objects, yada, 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 things like buildings, and these things are considered clipped to the reality. So they're connected. For example, if you bump into a wall, you bounce off of it, like there's a collision. Or you pick up a cup and you can wrap your hands around it and pick it up and whatever. So there are items, though, that can also be no-clipped. So It's like it happens when part of the map disconnects somehow. There's a connection error. So when you bump into it, you'll fall through it.
Yeah.
Or when you interact with an item that is no-clipped, you will usually fall off the world. But you're still in the game. You're just under it. Or in, like, a void.
Outside of it somehow.
Yeah. So I know that was a lot of video game references. So for my non-gamers, it's more like, think of it's like the illusion of an item. Like
a ghost item.
Yes.
You can move through it.
You can still see it, but interacting with you, it's like with the game's instinct is to try and get rid of it, and because you interacted with it, it's trying to get rid of you too, almost.
Like going through a wall.
Yes. So this concept is what creates the Backrooms. The concept says that it's like the sister of glitching the simulation, right? So it says that in our world, there are also items that can become no-clipped. And interacting with that can throw you off of the map.
The drum rat, he's no-clipped. I'm telling you.
Oh my fucking God. He stopped to listen.
He really did. He's like, wait, this is kind of good.
Whoa, this podcast, it kind of slaps. But, so that's essentially the idea, is that certain items are disconnected from the reality, the code, whatever, and us interacting with them will disconnect us from the reality. It'll no-clip us out. But instead of putting us under the map or in some void, it puts you into the Backrooms. Okay? The Backrooms are fucking scary, right? So an example of a no-clipped item would be like a wall that looks too dark, or like a door that you know goes to nowhere.
In games, around like the wall too dark when there's like messed up textures on a no-clipped item, or the missing textures.
Yes, exactly.
That's so cool.
So this is what the Backrooms are. So this first began to circulate in May of 2019 on the internet. So it showcases a yellow, grungy-looking empty office building. And it's super weird. Like, most people see it and immediately recognize it or feel some sort of kinship. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up.
If I recognize it, I'm leaving.
No, I'm telling you, you will.
But I also think I've, like, looked into this a little bit a long time ago, so I might recognize it just from that. And that's going to make it even worse because it's going to be like on the back burner of my brain.
Just pretend.
Okay. I've never read it ever. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
No, I remember the name and like a general concept, but I might be confusing it with an SCP that I'll tell you about. Oh, yeah, I hate that because I do.
Yeah.
Just look.
Most people.
Oh, the Minecraft version? That's pretty fun.
Most people describe it as a very like unsettling feeling of nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it reminds you of something from your childhood, but it's something that makes you very uncomfortable.
Like a hotel. Like it's got that bad hotel lighting.
Yeah.
I know we say it every time. Pictures will be in the Discord.
Yes. And there's going to be a few. I'm going to label them. You'll see why as I get later, but there's some differences. So that's what the backroom is. The backrooms are a part of the map that is not fully loaded, fully rendered, something that we're not meant to see. Unfinished. So the caption, when this picture began circulating, I'm going to read you the caption. It says, if you are not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old, moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you.
I don't want anybody in there with me. If I'm stuck in the outside of reality, just let me alone.
Oh, baby. So, most people who feed into this story claim to have been there, whatever. Ow. That hurt.
Water break. Do 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 do. Water break.
Most people, the disagreement comes from the layout of the backrooms. So some people classify them as like levels, like floors. Some people classify them as like different areas of the same floor.
Do people claim to have like been here and come back? Okay.
Yes. I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
And people claim there's different. Okay, I guess what I'm saying is what I have curated for you today is the most organized version of this chaos. And there's gonna be some disclaimers in there that some people think these two levels are actually the same one, that kind of thing. So the first level, they're said to be between 1 and infinite floors.
Fun.
And each level is different. So the first one is level 0. It's the mono yellow. Every room looks pretty much the same. The only difference is like how they're laid out, like where a doorway is, that kind of thing. One room you might walk into might be a rectangle, and the other is a square. Like there's not going to be any distinctive items or windows,
random rooms.
It's just
with nothing.
Empty rooms.
I hate that.
It's fucking maddening. There was actually a game that came out pretty recently with this concept. It's describing it shouldn't be scary, but it is.
It's unsettling.
You have to in the game. You have to check your watch every 30 seconds to verify that time is still real.
Oh gosh,
it's fucked up. The carpet is damp and squishy, and it smells. Teehee, just girly things.
That's just we didn't need that.
And
it's already gross.
The only sound you hear is that I hate it. It's that maddening buzz of fluorescent lights.
Dude, that in school, like taking tests, that buzz would drive me crazy. If tests were any longer than they were, I think I would have just gone mad.
Fucking teeth hurt. Like
I know what you're like, that ringing.
I hated it. But that's all you hear in this floor. is as you're wandering around through doorway after doorway after doorway.
I would very, very quickly start like talking to myself, and then that would just progress. But just trying to get the noise out that alone anywhere would drive me crazy.
And you can't go anywhere. Like, that's the other thing.
What do you
like,
do?
it's a new room after a new room after a new room. Like, no matter how deep you get, you're not going anywhere, baby. Most people in this level will actually start running. Is the common how you kind of cope with it. You start sprinting through it. But that it doesn't help.
Yeah.
No matter how fast you go, you're not going to speed up the process of getting through this level. And it supposedly takes months to escape this floor specifically, if you can, and if you have stayed sane enough to last through it. So imagine that. Literally months.
Of just nothing. But you're like outside of reality. So do you need to eat or anything? Or are you just kind of there?
So from what I understand, because there's different stories, most people, one of the most famous one is like an actual narrative about how this man ended up there. Infographics it's like a 7-minute video. It's really interesting, and I would definitely recommend it for anybody who wants to listen to it. It's the first thing that pops up when you search Backrooms on YouTube. He, in the narrative at least, time was frozen. You didn't need to eat, sleep, or drink.
Okay.
Because you're not in reality anymore.
That's what I was saying. Like, that makes sense to me because you're outside of.
It's like glitching a sim outside of the bounds. Like, your needs freeze.
Side note, have you seen the Sims glitch where the pets start glitching and the dogs turn into like people models so they can like walk up and hug you, but it's still just a dog with just like weirdly long limbs? Dude, look up pets glitches on Sims later. They're disgusting and haunting, but they're also really funny.
Okay. But so most people lose their minds on this level. It is possible to escape it, though. So you can get out. So some people testify to having seen entities on this floor. So it's a very convenient little graphic. It's on Reddit, I think, where it breaks up the floors and it categorizes them on how secure they are, how safe they are, and the entity count. So this level, some people claim the entity count is 0, and some people say it's minimal.
Okay.
So if there is entities on this level, they are, I hate this, humanoid, but walking on all fours. And like
Ew.
The pictures of them, it looks like The Rake, where it's just all skin.
Ugh, I hate The Rake. The pictures of that are the worst. The Rake is a no-go for me.
With like the long fingernails and the no face. But you know that they're coming because you hear a humming noise.
Like
that is not the lights.
But my God. That's the worst.
Them emitting
Hearing
a
new buzz on top of the already atrocious buzz that is.
Just, you've been alone for how many months and then you turn around and something is fucking behind you?
Oh, you know what that reminded me of? Because I hate when like the humanoid things start walking weird.
Mm-hmm.
This is a short, like, little creepypasta, but I'll share it since we're doing a little creepypasta. Have you heard of the not a deer? It's a deer, but not.
But not a deer. Wait, yes.
Where it just like walks so off. Mm-hmm. It's like a sick deer almost, and it's like a Midwestern creepypasta. But it's something that you can look at and be like, that's a deer, but in your heart of hearts, you know that it's not a deer. Because something is off about the way it moves. Mm-hmm. And like the pictures of it where its ankles are slightly like bent a little too much the way it's standing. Yeah. Most people write it off as like a sick deer. But like anything like that, a humanoid thing walking, mm-hmm. or the rake, since it's kind of humanoid. We'll have to share pictures of the rake because it will give you nightmares for the rest of your life.
I absolutely hate it.
But it's humanoid walking or moving wrong. The not a deer is that same concept where it's like it's moving in a way that you know is wrong, is just for some reason one of the most unsettling things to me.
I feel like I forgot to explain what a creepypasta was.
We did before, but we might want to run through it again.
So a creepypasta is essentially any like horror content that originates from the internet. So it can be good, it can be bad, it can be a narrative, it can be pictures. The most common example is Slender Man. So a lot of these, when we say creepypasta, we mean an internet
Horror story.
Some of them are no sleeps, where they're presented as fact. SEPs are considered creepypasta because they originated from the internet.
A category of them almost. So like it's just any horror content that didn't come from like a book or old folklore
or a movie.
It's coming from strictly the internet is its origin.
And usually the one of the defining characteristics of a creepypasta is that they spread like fucking wildfire.
People love them.
One picture popped up and immediately it was on every platform.
Yeah.
It's been out for 2 years, and there's videos upon videos. There's games, there's pictures, there's stories, there's everything.
It's a very creative group of I would say a fandom on the internet.
Yeah.
People move the reason creepypastas work so well is because they move so fast and they move to a bunch of creative people. Mm-hmm. So they come to life so fast on the internet, and that's usually if you can like Google it and there's just a billion edited pictures.
Yeah.
Or like when you Google this, you can find videos of people in them. Mm-hmm. Like people get very creative with them very fast because they start from something so little.
Yeah.
So they're pulled in 1,000 different directions.
And the best example is Slender Man, because he's the one that's kind of really entered like pop culture. Mm-hmm. But Slender Man originated from an online photo contest. And like that was the origins of the
it wasn't
Slender
the
Man.
game where he came from.
No.
The games were made after a creepypasta.
Yeah.
In all of the like fan made movies and
right.
stuff like that.
And
me and Ashley did my sister, we had a little fan made Slenderman video.
I remember that.
Do you remember
video.
that? It's just people, we were like 12.
Yeah.
So like it reaches a lot of people and so much content just gets churned out because there's so much to work with.
And it's cool as fuck. Like some of the stories are bad.
Some are so good. I still remember some that I read when I was like 10.
Some of them, some of them stick with you. Like, one of my favorite ones still to this day, and it's one of the most popular ones, is Ben Drowned.
Ben Drowned's good.
Because the way that story was presented was a guy bought an old Nintendo 64 cartridge of a Zelda game from a garage sale, and when he put it in, it was haunted. And he edited his pictures and edited the code of the game to make it feel really immersive. And like he'd tell you these stories of crazy thing that happened to him in the game and then show you pictures of it because a kid was haunting it. And it's super interesting. We went off on a tangent. It started with the Not-A-Deer.
The
Not-A-Deer is really fucked up because it also has sharp teeth, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's like just like every time we talk about a creepypasta, we're going to say there's so many different versions because it spreads so fast. And you have like that verbal storytelling effect of where details get moved. So sometimes it has like ankles that bend weird. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it has sharp teeth. Sometimes it like...
And it's not...
Sometimes it like actually looks diseased. Sometimes it looks like a fine deer that just moves wrong.
And it's not one deer, right? Like it's a species
not
of
a deers.
Things pretending to be deers. But it's like it's that concept, and we're gonna tie it back into the Backrooms in a second. But it's like the concept of that, the rake, the humanoid figures, it's all playing off of that. It's just a little too close to true.
Yeah.
It's just a little too close.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it scary. And I hate it. The rake specifically still scares the fuck out of me. Do yourself a favor and Google it.
And never sleep again.
Nightmares. Yeah. Oh, whoa, yeah. Okay.
Back on it.
Right. So you know that these humanoid creatures are coming after you when you hear a humming noise. If you come across one, the best advice to get away is to slowly back up and try to refrain looking at it. So the way out of this level is there's a few different versions. Obviously, it's a creepypasta. But some people say that... Okay. Some people say that the way out to back to the real world is on level 0. So you can either go back out or continue deeper into the back rooms at your own risk, obviously. But level 0, people say that if you look for a no-clipped wall here and walk through it, there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to be clipped back to reality. And then there's a 50-50 chance you're going to be thrust deeper to a deeper level. So people say that the way to do this is to look for a wall that's too dark, a doorway that, like, that's an actual door instead of, like, an archway that shouldn't be there. Like,
That's the one I remember hearing, is that you were looking for a door.
yeah. Like, and the concept...
You would never find it most of the time, but you were looking for a door.
Right. And if you find it by some stroke of luck and you go through it, you very well might be put back into the simulation, into the real world. Otherwise, you're going to continue in the back rooms of the code.
That reminds me of video games too, because sometimes when you fall out the world, you can get back on in some games. In some games, you are just done for until you just like fall even further out the world,
Right.
which is very video game like. I enjoy that.
Exactly. And sometimes it'll take you back. Sometimes it'll take you deeper. Sometimes though, the 50-50 is not back or deeper. The 50-50 is back or to the beginning of level 0. And there's a slim chance you'll be taken deeper. So those are the percentages there.
Oh wow.
Um
I thought you were gonna say you just die.
oh no.
I was about to be like, well,
Most people don't die on this level.
okay.
They
Other
just
levels,
go crazy. Yeah. Because it's the torture. It's the torture of the constant mono yellow wallpaper. I hate it. 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 But it's the madness of monotony.
Yeah.
And also humanoids sometimes, but most people don't see
If you're
them.
an unlucky dude, you
Right.
get the humanoid one.
But so the transition from level 0 to level 1 isn't really confirmed. Some people say that there are stairs, like you'll come across stairs or an elevator or a ladder, like another way down that will take you physically deeper. Some say that as you're walking, your surroundings just slowly change.
Ooh.
Which is why
It reminds
some
me
people...
of Coraline.
Right. So some people break up the levels by saying you have to physically go deeper for it to be considered a new level. Some people break this up as, no, when your surroundings change, you are considered
Like a
in
new
a
section.
new area.
Okay.
So I broke it up. I'm treating this based on the infographic as a new level. Your surroundings will slowly change around you and take you further into the back rooms. This floor is all concrete, but specifically it's those white cinder blocks
This is the one I remember.
that looks like a high school locker room is what it looks like. That those big cinder blocks that are painted white and then concrete floors. So most believers of this theory say you average 3 to 4 days in this space, in level 0 before your surroundings will start to change, or 3 to 4 days, whatever, before the lights start flickering. And some people theorize, or I say theorize, some people say that the transition happens when the lights go off and come back on and you're in the concrete room.
Ooh.
Instead of the office. Which I feel like I would just drop dead right there.
If the lights start flickering, go off, my heart would stop.
Right.
And that one, that's the one I kind of remember from when I was little, getting into this. And it just, the sterileness of those white cinder blocks and concrete floors.
Yeah.
It seems like you're in the basement of a hospital.
Yeah.
It seems very clinical when with those large construction blocks.
This floor
and I
was the
hated
one that
that.
fucked me up the most. Because for the same reason, the monotony of level 0 is awful, and then the horror of some of the later floors is awful, but this just seems like the perfect balance of I really just want to run headfirst into a wall and hope my skull breaks open.
Yeah, this one, it's it's not fantasy enough. It seems like it's enough of, it's still monotonous, and it's scarier with, the setting is almost scarier.
Yeah.
It's not monotony anymore. It's just a scary setting.
Yeah. So this one, after a few days of being, because this is level 1, is what it's considered. After level 1, after a few days on level 1, your lights are going to start to flicker again. First, it's for a few seconds. Then it's for full minutes. Then hours. And then days of complete darkness. But the shining star of this level, the crown jewel, if you will, are the entities.
Oh no.
They are vaguely human at best, but the gag is that they only move towards you when the lights are off.
Oh, like Boo's and Mario, except you're not looking at them. I hated them. They were so annoying.
But like at first they move towards you for like a few seconds. And then when on those times when it's full days in darkness,
Yeah, they can just walk up to you.
yeah, you'll only be able to hear them. And you can hear them because the noise that they emit, like the ones on level 0, if there are any on level 0, was like a vague hum. These, it sounds like a scream but underwater. Like it's very distorted and it's very like, I don't know another word other than distorted, like, but it sounds so human.
Oh.
And I hate it. But it's very like muffled. Like it sounds like something's covering their mouths. But they can only move towards you when the lights are off, and escaping this level is hard but possible. It just takes a long time. So it's not impossible, and these creatures aren't considered not dangerous because obviously they're dangerous, but not the worst. And you can hear them coming, so you can get away from them. Yeah, it's dark and it'll probably suck and you'll probably be terrified the whole time, but the likelihood of you dying, it's not as large as it could be.
Yeah, if they were silent, you're done for.
Right. So, next we're going to go on to level 2. Teehee. Some people lump levels 2 and 3 together and consider them one big level. Just a disclaimer before we even get into it. But level 2 is categorized by machines. It looks like a service tunnel.
Okay.
So like the pipes running along the ceiling, and you can hear humming and whirring and clicking and stuff of machines, but you can't see the machines themselves.
Okay, so it's still like empty besides the pipes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just like different settings.
Yeah.
Like, but it looks like a service tunnel that would be running under something. Like I don't know, where do service tunnels run? Like,
under buildings.
Under buildings and shit. Like a basement would be a good way to describe it. The fluorescent light humming is still here, but it's covered up mostly by the machines.
Okay.
And like the creaks and the pulsating noises. It feels very industrial, and it looks like a service tunnel with lights fixed to the walls and pipes running above. It can get as hot as 110 degrees.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And the monsters on this level are crazy hostile. Like, if you see it, your only option is to run.
Jeez.
And some people say, like I said, there's multiple versions of these levels and explanations. Some people say that they can't see, they can only hear. So if you see one, you can back away real slow and try and get away from it. But if it catches wind of you, your only option is to run or die. Right. The walls are also lined with doors, which is a blessing and a curse. So as you're walking down, if you keep walking straight down the hallways and you don't stop to open any of these doors, you will walk straight back to level 0. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that would be like my first instinct. Like, I'm not going in the doors.
Exactly. Most, if not all of these doors are locked. So you have to try every one and just hope you find a door that isn't locked.
Yeah.
So that you can continue on.
That goes back to like the unfinished feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's locked parts because there's nothing.
Yeah, it's not real. It's void. And all while avoiding these monsters that are not hunting you. They're not going to attack you on sight. But if they do, you're fucked. Level 3 is sometimes looped in with level 2, as if you keep walking or going through these doorways and these tunnels, they'll get smaller and smaller and narrower and narrower. And the lights are insanely hot, like right above your head and buzzing.
Oh, gosh.
And the hallways are really, really thin. The walls and ceilings are still filled with pipes, but the things that the reason people classify this as a separate level entirely is because there are items in it. Lighters, hats, weapons are strewn everywhere, but you're never supposed to touch them. Because the entities in level 3, while not like obviously hostile, are the deadliest because they set traps.
Oh.
Yeah. Which the concept of like
you finally reach stuff for the first time. If you're sometimes stuck in level 0 for like months, you said. Mm-hmm. So it could be like a year since you've seen stuff.
A lighter.
Yeah.
Like a baseball bat. Like,
and to know that you can't touch it.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the trap.
No, I know.
Is they know that you just are so desperate for something.
Stuffs.
And the concept of an intelligent being setting traps for you, no thank you. Like that, I can't. Don't set a trap for me. I'm so fucking dumb.
Next time we play Minecraft, I'm setting up a trapped chest just for you.
I'm dumb. Like, you could tell, there could be a sign that says this is trapped, and I'll be like, oh, might not be.
Word, no.
But the entities of level 3 will set traps, and every creature you encounter is hostile. So in level 2, some of the times you could get away. Not true here. You can't just freeze and back up and hope it didn't see you. These attack on sight.
Okay. You can still run, though.
Yes. Sprinting in this level is always recommended, but the hallways are super fucking narrow. So the thing that played in my head is just imagine running down a very narrow hallway, shoulders bumping into the walls beside you, and just hearing something stomping behind you. Like falling on walls and shit. Like, no thank you.
And there's stuff you could trip over stuff in this one.
Yeah.
In the sprinting level, they're like, let's make it, there's now stuff so they can fall.
Yeah. So
and also get trapped.
So sprinting is always recommended, and it's pretty much your only chance of escaping. And reaching...
I'd be dumb. I'd like, now that I know this going in, I'm going to sprint. As soon as I get there, I'm going to sprint right into one of the guys, though.
Hello, buddy.
Right into the entity.
So reaching... the way to exit this level is an elevator. Reaching it, though, you have a 50-50 shot of going on to level 4 or back to level 2. And you don't get a choice.
Yeah, it's just wherever the elevator's going.
A lot of people say that this level is the end point, but that's because not many people make it forward.
Oh.
So most people will get sent back to level... Like, if you survive, most people aren't going to survive by going through. They're going to survive by going back. By going back to level 2, maybe even back to level 0, finding a no-clipped wall, finding a no-clipped door.
That's what I was going to say. So far, the only one we've talked about that had a chance of going back to reality was the first one.
And I'm glad you caught wind of that.
Oh no. So
but it's so much harder because, like, level 0, you have a chance of going back, yeah, but the way you progress on is just by walking.
Yeah.
Which is what you're doing. You know, like, your surroundings are slowly gonna change, and that's when you enter level 2. So if you don't find a door, if you don't find a no-clipped wall, you literally have no choice but to go on.
And keep going. Mm-hmm. And then you have to get all the way back down to go up.
Mm-hmm.
Or not all the way. You gotta go somewhat down to get someone up.
Right. The people who have made it through this level, though, a lot of people say that the way they got through it was by, get this, accepting the situation and beginning to view the Backrooms as their home.
Oh.
Yeah, so
after months, you kind of like, I'm stuck.
Yeah. Once you make your peace with it is when you find the elevator, is essentially the idea. Level 4 is essentially a cakewalk. Like, it is easily, it's classified as safe, secure, and there's minimum entities. It's both an abandoned office building and an empty storage unit building. And there are windows on this level, but if you find them, you're supposed to avoid them at all costs because they're all traps.
Don't open windows.
Do not open a window. Do not look out of a window.
Don't go by windows.
Do not go by windows. But this level is classified by, like, there's cubicles.
Okay.
And everything everywhere. Some people have seen, like, phones, vending machines.
Oh, we're still back to, like, very little stuff now.
Yes, very little. But not every item is a trap. The only thing that's a trap in this level is the windows. Also, I just thought this was fun. Out of fountains, like water fountains, coolers, vending machines, literally everywhere. You know the only thing that comes out? Milk.
That's so just a weird detail.
Milk. It's recommended to stock up because
on
it's
milk.
Like your only like connection to reality. Like some people say it's like a source of nutrition, but you don't need food to survive.
I would say
it's just it keeps you grounded. It's one of those things that's like checking a watch.
After months of not having food and drink,
exactly,
having drink even if you don't need it seems like such a nice thing.
It reminds you that you're a person
and would technically need it if you were in reality.
Right. And level 5, in addition to that, it's not as safe as level 4, but it's one of the safer ones. It's easy to get lost or go insane, but it's also one of the smallest levels.
Okay.
It's a very cluttered floor. So, like, some people describe it as, like, an old hotel or, like, an old antique store. There's just a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Like, piles and piles of, like, old Art Deco furniture and lamps.
Is there trapped stuff?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's a safe floor. Like, these two are the floors that are typically, like, savor them, rest up. You've been running for 2 or 3 floors at this point. Like, you're not dying, obviously. You're not running out of energy because there is no energy to have. But it limits your stress a little. There are 2 main sides of this floor. There's the lobby and then the boiler room. Most people say to avoid the boiler room, and you're gonna avoid it naturally anyway because it's insanely fucking hot.
And boiler rooms are just creepy.
Right, but it's very like industrial machinery, and you'll actually be able to see the machines on this floor. You won't be able to really like interact with them. They're not gonna do anything.
You can see them now.
But yeah, it's like they're not powering anything. It's just like the illusion of machinery.
I hate that like. Since it's like going down, the farther you get from reality, the more reality stuff has appeared.
Exactly.
That's like, so weird.
And it's slowly filling out more and more. So it went from like
nothing.
It went from literally yellow wallpaper to, okay, now you got some cinder blocks and also monsters.
And then there was stuff on the ceiling with the pipes.
Yes.
And you had new noises. The noises would be so reassuring to me.
That. And then you get milk later.
Yeah, after you get through the bad stuff, you get the good stuff to the milk room.
And on some levels, like, don't get me wrong, I'd be terrified, but aren't the monsters a comfort in and of themselves? At least you're running from something.
Yeah, at least you're not just going crazy.
Right. At least you
have a goal.
That.
You have something to keep
escape.
You going.
Yeah.
Terrifying, but you have a goal more than I'm just going to wander around. It's
right.
I have to get away from this.
Right.
Your adrenaline kicks in.
But some creatures have been recorded on this level, but it's nothing confirmed, and if they are, they're not like hunting you out actively, like they're not hostile. Some people it's like shadows, monsters, maybe. But the boiler room side, every set of stairs, every elevator on that side, they're all traps. But the boiler room is so hot that you're not going to want to explore it in the first place, so most people don't go over there. So they're going to stay on the side that's full of furniture and not boiling hot. And if you stay on the main path and you stay in the main hallways, you will eventually find your way out, which is great. And it just sucks that this floor is so small because it's not much time to rest. And the next level fucking sucks.
Is this like the worst so far?
No. Well, everyone has their different worst.
Yeah,
okay?
fair enough.
This one's recorded as like the baseline worst. It's not the worst for me.
Okay.
Level 6 is the most dangerous, though.
Okay.
By far. It is made up completely of metal rooms, and it's roaring and like echoing and noises that are bouncing off. You also can't see, so it really fucks with your senses.
Oh, you just can't see ever.
Get vague shapes in darkness kind of feel. And it really fucks up your senses, so you are going to hallucinate a shit ton. So some of the monsters you see are not real, and some of them are. And you just have to run.
Oh my gosh.
The monsters, the entities on this level actually have a name, and they're called insanities. Adequately named.
Yeah.
They drive you up the fucking wall. Okay?
No, I'm sure.
Like, they're gonna... I saw some stuff saying that, like, they mimic sounds and voices of, like, family members and shit. They're also...
And it's like, oh, that would suck because you haven't heard those people...
in years.
At this point. Oh, my gosh.
And their goal is not to eat you, not to hurt you, not to hunt you. Their goal is to drive you insane because on this level, if you go insane, you become one of them.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, they just racking up boys.
No, literally.
Homies.
It's just a kill count. So that's why, like, a lot of people say that the milk from level 4 helps because it reminds you that you're a person. You know, it's giving you something to do other than think about the things that are watching you.
So just drink some milk while you listen to the dudes.
Drink some fucking milk, brother.
The milk will save you.
This whole level is also made up of really, really, really complex sub-layers. So a lot of people get stuck here because you can't tell which one is the real floor. Yeah. So
another like senses.
Yeah.
Thing.
And you can only...
You said this one wasn't your least favorite?
No.
Is there's more coming?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say this one I feel like would be so hard because you're not being chased. You're just driving yourself crazy.
Yeah. Most people do not make it on from this level. Like I said, it was level 4. Is most people mark that as the end point, you know, because you can go back to level 0, 1, 2, or whatever and go home, in theory. If you keep going deeper, most people die here. Very rarely do people make it on because you can't tell where you are. Like, if you're
here where you are.
Right. If you're on the right level, like, you have to be on the right level to find the exit, first of all. So you have to know which one is reality and which one isn't. In a place that is not reality. Like, it's just a mind fuck. And then there's monsters that are intentionally trying to fuck with your head.
In a place that's already doing that.
Exactly.
Disgusting.
Level 7 is the one that got me.
Oh, no.
So level 7 is the second to last. It's very different, okay? It's like fake outside, but not.
So you're outside?
But not.
Okay.
I can't, like, sometimes...
Is there, like, invisible walls?
So sometimes people say you're outside, sometimes people say you're inside, sometimes it's both. It's flooded with freezing distilled water.
Ugh.
So the advice is to stay out of it. There are rooms that are, like, stacked on top of each other. They're kind of like islands in between. So sometimes you're inside, and the rooms are flooded. I'm so sorry for hitting you. Microphone. Sometimes you're outside sometimes you're outside, like, on top of buildings. Sometimes you're inside and rooms are flooded. Sometimes it's nighttime. Sometimes it's daytime. Like, it's the level that's, like, the further you get down, the more vague it gets because not many people get down.
And make it back.
Exactly. This one, though, is full of various skeletons. So human, fish, monster. Like, it looks like some of them are, like, vague humanoid shapes, but not human. Because this level, there is only one monster. And it swims.
Oh, don't go in the water.
Don't go in the water. I hate that. I just hate water. So, like, that's the worst possible case scenario for me. Is having to swim
between rooms.
And it's very unlikely that you will come into contact with this monster because there's literally only one of them. And this level is huge. So most people can get by staying away from it. But if it does find you, it is very unlikely you will survive.
Well, because he's made to swim in the water.
Exactly. No one has encountered it and survived. There's no description of what this monster looks like. There's no description of what it does, if it eats you, if it just kills you and lets you rot. Like, no one knows what it does because no one has lived.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yep. And the way out, I hated it, is you have to find a shallow point in the water, find a hole, and swim through it.
Ooh, yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
To swim down a tunnel? Mm-mm.
And it's pretty obvious, but you do not swim through the exit marked not an exit, which takes you back to level 4. Which, I mean, honestly, at this point, I would go back to level 4. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, the next level is the worst. Like,
yeah.
No. Go back down because at least, like, it sucks because you progress. You feel like you're progressing, but you're just getting further and further away from reality. Like, the deeper you go.
Yeah, there hasn't been a way back up in a little while.
No, there isn't.
Oh.
Except in level 0.
Oh, I meant, like, back up to level 0.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
4, the elevator, or 3, the elevator went back up.
Yeah.
Or could, and you can't
in
pick.
Theory.
So, like, where's the ways to go a little closer down here?
Level 8 is the last stable level. From here, we do not know what the fuck's going on. You just keep getting deeper. And there's not a way out, brother.
So there's no, like, there's not much records of what's under 8?
Mm-mm.
So that's funny, because this is episode 8. We're not ending here, though.
No.
So there are more episodes.
But level 8 is a cave system. An endless, dark, dank, narrow cave system. It's dark, it's wet, it's unsafe, it's unsecured, and its category is infested. It is full of monsters. It's near impossible. If you made it here, good for you. You will be dead within minutes. And every spider is poisonous. Every monster is hostile. It's impossible.
Is there a way? Does it bring you back up at all? No.
You're just fucked.
So, but after the elevator, there was no way back up.
Yeah, you're just fucked.
Oh, so if you mess up with the elevator, you're just dead?
Well, so there are a shit ton of exits.
Okay.
In this level, but it's very unlikely you're gonna make it to one. So there's vents, there's holes, there's pits. The safest way out is finding something that's no-clipped. It's very unlikely you will.
Oh, okay.
Here.
So on other floors, you can still find no clip. That makes sense to me.
This is the level that is least explored. Most people who get down further than this have not lived to give record of it. There's no one true confirmed exit. The only thing that some people have said is that they've made it through to what may or may not be level 9. And it's an eternal night suburban neighborhood. But most people have not lived to get through that. The chances of successfully exiting this level are 1%.
Good luck.
It's fucked. But those are what are considered the levels of the Backrooms. So like I said earlier, the first picture that appeared, it was on 4chan in May of 2019, and from there it spread like wildfire. Specifically, it got a lot of traction on Reddit.
I didn't think it was that new.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Well,
this goes back to like that you think it's from your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, I read this creepypasta in my childhood. So even the creepypasta is glitching out of reality for me, and I'm not here for it.
There was probably some version of it that existed, like the concept of living in a simulation and being able to glitch out of a simulation.
Yeah, that's fair.
It isn't new.
The Backrooms just seems like such an old concept in my brain.
Same. No, same. Because it popped back up on TikTok.
Oh.
It's everywhere on TikTok right now. Or at least for me. Like, a lot of the ones I got where when I died, this is what I saw. Like, this is purgatory. Like, that kind of thing. And then when I started doing research on it, what I feel like happened was it was only in 2019 that it was given a name.
Oh, okay.
Because that is when the first post was made, officially calling it the Backrooms.
Okay.
But I do think there was something before this. There had to be.
Unless that's the feeling of the nostalgia, which sucks because I hate that.
But it made its way to Reddit, and most people on Reddit, it's a subreddit called r/Backrooms. It is sort of a role-playing subreddit, though. People will post original images, videos, commentary, and they flesh out the world. Some get out, some are still stuck, some see monsters, some don't.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go play on Reddit.
It's fun. I scrolled through it a little bit. It's wild, dude, because it's like role play. It's like people are saying, like, this is where I am right now, and obviously you're not. But it's fun.
Yeah. It's a way to get out of reality in your head.
Right.
Almost.
And it's creepypasta, so it's fiction.
That's the fun part.
Maybe.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun. We nailed that.
But people, like, document their experiences, essentially. And, like, a lot of people claim to see it in their dreams. And it doesn't, yes, it's fiction. But it doesn't explain that, like, feeling you get when you look at the pictures. Which is what gets me. Because I looked at that picture and I, like, immediately, like, I've been there before.
It feels so familiar. It's like the room with the purple, like, arcade carpet. The empty room with the purple arcade carpet that everyone's seen in their dreams.
Yes.
It's a picture that when you look at, for no reason, it should not feel familiar, but it feels familiar.
Yeah.
Just like the story to us feels like it's older and more familiar than 2019. That is awful feeling.
It is.
I'm not here for it. I'm also here for it a lot, though, because that's so interesting.
The concept is batshit to me, and especially, like, the concept of the deeper you get, the further from reality, the less likely you are to escape. Like, one Reddit post that jumped out to me was someone posted a picture of an abandoned area and made a comment that, like, oh, I saw another Redditor posted a picture that looks similar to me. Maybe we're close. Someone commented under that, like, do not meet. That is a trap. Like, it's a role play thing, yeah, but the concept of the idea of getting further and further away from reality, of still having access to the internet somehow, like, no thank you. I can't.
Disturbing.
And especially, like,
what if it is real and we're just calling all these Redditors role players and these dudes are stuck in the worst thing ever and we're like, man, they're having so much fun role playing.
But the reason that the Backrooms are scary, or most people agree that the reason they're scary, is because it checks every psychological box, right? So it's endless, you're lost, it's monotonous.
Your senses are messed with.
You are physically trapped. You're being watched at all times. You are being hunted at all times. Like,
you are never not on edge, whether you're on edge for something real or on edge because of, like, monotony.
Right.
That's so dang.
And the video, I watched some of the gameplay of the game that was released. You just wander. You check your watch every 30 seconds and you wander.
That's your only, like, objective? Mm-hmm. Disgusting.
And that's what the Backrooms are. And that was our first creepypasta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I did a no sleep, but not all, like I said it earlier, but all no sleeps are creepypasta, but not all creepypastas are no sleeps.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was fun. I really enjoyed that.
Did you?
Not like a good. I enjoyed talking about it. I don't enjoy the concept of it.
The concept of just randomly glitching from reality. I think that's what gets me too, is the concept of it's just random.
Yeah, we could do that. We could touch that water bottle right there and be gone.
Yep. Wouldn't that be weird too, just watching someone
and because time stops for you, you come back at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, reality pauses for you, and everybody else doesn't go on in that, like, timeline of existence. That's so weird. I hate that.
I hate time. So what did you think? You were satisfied?
Yeah, that was good. That was so fun. I don't like that it feels familiar, and that's the whole point of it. Mm-hmm. I know, but I swear to God, it's older than 2019.
It has to be something, and It has
I
to have
remember
just
being,
been
like,
like given
10.
a name in 2019 or something. There's no way.
Or like
that's a new
collected
concept.
into something. Because that, I remember like being 10 or something and looking into this.
Yeah.
And seeing those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Those pictures, like looking it up, like what's the Backrooms? Or maybe not the Backrooms at that time, but something. Like it had some
no
other
clipping
name.
from reality. The other thing, I didn't get too far into it because I'm dumb, but some people cited, not like, they didn't call it no clipping, but they called it quantum tunneling.
Ooh.
Something about particles being able to move freely through matter.
Oh, it's like some quantum physics
so like
stuff.
you literally would fall out of the world.
Oh,
literally.
That is like some string theory stuff, though.
I didn't understand it, so I didn't include it.
Oh, okay. I love quantum
I tried to understand
I like
it.
I understand it at the very dumbed down level, like as simple as they can explain it, because it's hard to understand. So I understand like the bare minimum. But it's just some whack stuff. Like it explains how we could be in a simulation, and it explains the different realities of the world. Everything exists at the same time, and everything also doesn't exist at the same time. Is like every possibility exists, but also doesn't exist. Isn't that disgusting?
Schrodinger's universe.
Yeah. Somewhere there is an alternate reality where there is the Backrooms. Somewhere there's an alternate reality where there's only the Backrooms.
We are the Sims who have gone to college and realized we're in a simulation.
We're the Sims with the grilled cheese aspiration.
Dude, I fucking love that aspiration. When I figured out that was a thing.
All of my Sims now have the grilled cheese aspiration.
Literally. For those of you who do not know what that is, you can, if you start a Sims game and you eat nothing but grilled cheese for like 3 days, you have the option to gain the grilled cheese aspiration, which is the weirdest shit. It's like eat a grilled cheese with the Grim Reaper.
And you can like summon grilled cheeses.
Yeah, you can do some weird ass shit.
You become a grilled cheese wizard.
Literally.
Beautiful. Perfect game.
The Sims is a fucking joke.
I love and hate The Sims.
Same. Adam, do you need an intermission?
Yes. All right.
Intermission.
Dun-dun-dun.
Hey, listeners. Hey, you. Hey.
Welcome back.
I just lost the game.
Oh, no, I lost the game too.
And so did everyone listening.
Haha.
What the fuck is good? And we're back.
That's how we're back? All right.
And we're back. Burger King foot lettuce.
Don't you come in here with that. No.
You're just mad because I'm funny.
Oh, no.
I started a joke.
Congratulations.
Starting the whole world crying.
Are we ready to jump in?
What have you got for me?
First thing I have to say, spoiler warning. Kind of. Yes, there's a huge spoiler warning. I'm going through Hauntings of the Conjuring movie.
Oh!
So
which one?
The first and second one.
Okay.
There's only 2. Why isn't there?
Well, The Conjuring's a franchise.
Yeah, there's 5 movies, but there's only 2 called Conjuring. Conjuring and then The Conjuring 2.
Oh, there's a Conjuring 2? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I only mostly talk about The Conjuring, just the first one, and there was like one thing on The Conjuring 2 that I threw in here, but the first thing, I'm going to go through a very quick and dry summary of the movie because it portrays into some of the like cursed, haunted things that happen.
Oh, sick.
But mine, instead of doing a ghost story, I did a cursed movie, so I'm changing it up a little bit.
I'm excited.
All right, so again, spoiler warning, very quick plot summary, and also it was directed by James Wan and written by Chad Hayes and Carrie W. Hayes.
Okay.
Just names that come back up, and I'll remind you what they are, but I figure I'd say them now. So the plot is the Perrin family moves into a farmhouse. It's like a mom, dad, and some kids. It's in Rhode Island, and they get there and the dog refuses to go in the house. They have a bunch of weird things happen. Specifically, some weird things that happen are the clock keeps stopping at 3:07 a.m.
Okay.
Birds keep flying into the window. of the house. So just full force smacking into the windows. And then they find, this one's a big one, they find the dead dog in the backyard.
I remember. I've seen this movie. I haven't seen the second one, but I definitely have seen the first one.
Okay, so that's good. I'm just
like
going
4
through
years ago.
for everyone.
No,
then.
you're good. I do remember the dead dog, though.
So once that happens, it starts to pick up, and they're just, like, in general, tormented by some spirit. It claims to want the family dead is its whole thing. It like speaks to one of them. It's like, I'm gonna kill everybody.
Bet.
Cool. They decide to contact the lovely Ed and Lorraine Warren. And
love them.
So for those of you who don't know, they're real life demonologist.
And a medium
that star in these movies. So they're played by people. Yeah. They don't play themselves. They're played by people. But they were real life people real life ghost hunters, pretty much.
They were the ones who hunted down, but Annabelle is their, like, big one.
Yeah, you'll know from there that a real story. That movie came from a real story of these real life ghost hunters.
Yeah, and the whole franchise is built.
The Conjuring franchise, the 5 movies are around them.
Right, and their, like, experiences, because Annabelle is part of the franchise.
The Conjuring is based on a real story. Yeah. A real haunting that they went and investigated.
Right.
Of course, it's movied up, but they're real people, and so is the Perron family. So, yeah.
Fun.
That's what this movie's about. After some investigation of the house, they figure out it was the house of a witch. Who sacrificed her child to the devil and then killed herself at 3:07 a.m.
Oh, shit.
That's where the time comes from. And she cursed anyone who took her land. So when the Perron family bought the house on the land, they were cursed by her.
Gotcha.
And the devil.
And the devil, just casually.
Yeah.
Just girly things.
A bunch more haunting stuff goes down in the movie. You should watch it. It's a good movie. About to spoil all of it for you.
About to spoil all of it.
They eventually get enough evidence to take to the church to get approved for an exorcism. But since the Perron family wasn't part of the church, they have to get it approved by, like, the Vatican. So they don't have to go, but they have to, like, send the evidence off, and so they would be having to wait for this approval. Things get really crazy at this point. The witch starts, like, possessing people. It goes down. So at some point, enough goes down, and Ed Warren decides to do the exorcism without the approval getting there. Yeah. More stuff goes down during the exorcism, but they eventually get it done. And they take a souvenir, which the Warrens are known for. They have a museum of them, but they take their artifact. And it was a music box. And in the movie, it starts playing. Like, that's a creepy little thing at the end. The music part starts playing on its own. But that's the movie.
And their museum is, like... So Ed, they're both passed now. But Ed passed away first. And after Ed died, Lorraine, because Lorraine is a medium.
Yes.
And Ed is the demonologist. But because Lorraine is super sensitive to demons and ghosts and stuff, after Ed passed away, Lorraine never set foot in the museum again. And the only way...
They closed it to the public, right?
Now it's closed to the public because they're both passed.
Oh, okay.
But to go on a tour of it, you would have to be blessed by a priest. You would have to go through multiple blessed doors because these are real artifacts with real demons attached to them. My favorite, I say my favorite. Well, obviously Annabelle is in there, locked in a cage, because at first they just put her in a container and she would get up and walk away, which
terrifying.
You know, that just girly things. A Raggedy Ann doll getting up and walking away, but they had a tombstone from some event that literally said E. Warren, and it was the day that Ed died.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's super fucked up. But just girly things. Sorry, just a tidbit. I love that. I want to see their museum so bad, but...
I do too. I'm so sad that it's closed.
I've taken virtual tours of it, like on YouTube and stuff. It's a lot. But like they had the music box, which is what made me remember, is like the music box and Annabelle and the whole 9 yards.
Okay. So now we get into, sorry for the weird pause. We get into the like, not the movie, but stuff that happened that like causes the movie to believe to be cursed. And this one isn't like one of the more crazy ones because those have circled the internet a lot. So I just found this one had a lot of interesting stuff, but I had never heard any of them. So I wanted to share this one instead of the one that like a lot of people already know, like with The Exorcist and stuff, like the ones that are just always on Facebook and stuff like that. This one like isn't as severe in some aspects, but in other aspects it's like that's crazy, but you just never hear about it.
Right.
The first one is just kind of a weird phenomenon. Patrick Wilson, who plays Ed Warren, says that Joey King, who played one of the parents' daughters, showed up to set one day mysteriously covered in bruises all over her body. And
shit.
The all over her body is a quote. So they were saying like everywhere. On her. And this was just after a few weeks of shooting, but there was no reason for these bruises to appear. Like, she wasn't doing stunts or anything. She wasn't being grabbed in anything, like any of the scenes. Nothing at home would have caused these bruises. They were just really weird bruises that appeared everywhere on her.
That's
and he said it in a couple of different interviews, which is just weird. Like, there was no reason for bruises to appear anywhere, and since they were all over her, just a weird thing that happened.
Hate that.
Yeah, isn't that disgusting?
Absolutely.
It's one thing for, like, a random bruise to appear on your leg.
Right, because that happens to everybody.
But for all over to be, quote, all over your body. Ugh. I didn't like that one. Another thing from Patrick Wilson, again, who played Ed Warren, said James Wan is the one who is quoted saying this, but it's a video that Patrick Wilson filmed of the stage drapes moving on their own.
Hate that.
They, where's the quote is, none of the doors were open, the air condition was switched off, they just started moving on their own, end quote. And the worst part of that is the video hasn't been shared, but they're both quoted talking about this video that Patrick Wilson has. And I really want to see the video, but they're saying it's moving a lot. Like, it looks like someone's holding the drapes at the bottom
and, like, shaking
and
them.
moving it. And they're the big stage drapes that are in set studios. And the description sounds crazy cool.
I want to see it. Why haven't they released it?
I don't know. They have. It was just brought up in an interview and not really brought up again. But I want to email them and be like, hey, I need the video. I need the proof. Let's DM them on Instagram like we talked earlier. All right. We know what we're doing tonight. Vera. Oh, I can't say her last name. Vera, last name here.
Redacted.
She played Lorraine.
Oh, she's so pretty. I love that actress. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. She has a pretty last name, too, and I just don't know how to say it. I watched a video to know how to say it, and I'm totally blanking right now. Like, I watched clips, but her first name's Vera. She reported to the director that as soon as they started filming, that every night between 3 and 4 a.m., she would wake up. Like, just for, you have those nights where you're just awake at really late at night for no apparent reason.
But that's the witching hour.
It's the witching hour, and it's also 3:07 a.m. is the time the witch died in the tale.
Hate that.
At the house.
No, thank you.
So as soon as they started portraying this witch and portraying the people that, like, hunted down this witch, Vera started waking up. She said every night at that time.
Yeah.
Which is gross.
Absolutely revolting.
That I hated that one because to say every night or most nights, it's one thing everybody wakes up random times every now and then, but as soon as they start filming and as soon as they stop filming, for it to be in that time frame. Yeah. And she said she had nightmares after, but it wasn't like the waking up every night at the same time. That's the witch's hour.
Right, because that's the witching hour. Because, like, when you wake up at 3 a.m., something bad. So it's never good.
Yeah. If you wake up at 3 a.m., roll over, close your eyes, and hope you're fine. That's a terrible way to put it.
If you wake up at 3 a.m., something's watching you.
Spooky.
Ooh.
No, but for real, that 3 a.m. to 4 is the witching hour. It's just it's like supposedly when the spirit world and our reality are closest together. So that's when, like, demons or ghosts can really get through.
Right.
Is allegedly what it is.
Sam, of Sam and Colby, has a series on his personal YouTube channel where he did a bunch of challenges at 3 a.m. Some crazy stuff happens in those videos. Do yourself a favor.
They're just really fun to watch. My favorite one is the 11-mile one.
I didn't watch that one.
It's good.
It's the one of him driving, right?
Yeah. And the car, literally, you watch the car, like, lights flicker in the car. Mm-hmm. Like, it's stuff you would see him messing with the lights.
That's why I like Sam's videos a lot, too.
Tail lights go out, and the, like, emergency thing on his car pops up. Mm-hmm. And it's not like you can flip one tail light off. There's no way he did that, you know?
My favorite one is, it was the Red Book game, you know, where you take the Red Book, you flip it, you talk to something through the book. You watch the lights in his room flicker. Like, his eyes are closed. He doesn't even know what happens. Like, a few times, his eyes are closed and the audience can see the lights flickering. But he doesn't react because his eyes are closed. There was one time that the lamp completely shuts off and then completely, like, off, on, all by itself, and he loses his fucking mind.
Oh, I hated that. I remember that one now that you talk about it. That one was good, too. Anyway, that is what
they all happened at 3 a.m. because that's
the witching hour.
The witching hour, yeah.
Also sometimes called, like, the devil's hours, too.
Yes.
I believe they're different things, though.
Right, but but they're the same
concept.
It's I thought they were the same time but different concepts.
Is that it?
Maybe I don't know. Like, because one of them is, like, the veil between the spirit world and
that's
our
the
world
witching hour.
And that's the witching hour. And the devil's hour, it's the same
Oh, it's because it's mocking the Holy Trinity, isn't it? That
yes,
the three,
yes,
it's mocking the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
That's the demons can mock the Holy Trinity.
And it's the time that it's easiest for demons to talk to you. And it just so happens to be, like, the same time. Hour. Which makes it worse.
Yeah, why'd they pick the same? That schedule was blocked out at that time. You got to pick another one now.
It's double booked.
Actually, it kind of makes it better because that's only 1 hour you have to worry about instead of two. Maybe it's a good thing.
But the fact that it's different concepts that line up to be the same thing, but for different reasons, I don't like that.
It's so weird. It's like different cultures had the same idea, and it just got brought together. It's like, oh wait, we're experiencing the same thing.
Right.
That's so weird. Anyway, back to the Conjuring.
Just girly things.
Another thing from Vera, she allegedly had 3 digital claw-like marks appear on her computer screen. So, like,
Holy Trinity.
A virus, and that, again, it's like commonly known as, like, the witching hour and the Holy Trinity. But do you know what demon had 3 claws? Supposedly?
No.
The one haunting Annabelle has 3 claws.
Ew.
And to make it so much worse, Vera, at the end of filming, reported had 3 claw-like bruises appear on her thigh.
I'm going to throw up.
So
I hate that.
It's so many things could be doing, like a demon mocking the Holy Trinity. Literally just Annabelle coming for someone playing Lorraine because she played Lorraine Warren.
Was about to say, do you know if... Well, we're talking about, obviously, it's like you're talking about the movie is cursed.
Yeah.
In some way, like, bad things happened on set.
Yes.
So, obviously, this happened after Annabelle.
Yes.
Do you know if the original case that this is based on happened after Annabelle?
Yes, because the reason the parents contact the Warrens is because of the Annabelle case.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, I forgot to say that's why they called them, is that the Warrens kind of got really famous after Annabelle. So the parents were like, hey, we're having something bad happen. We saw your work with Annabelle. We need help. So the movie happens after the Annabelle case, and so did the actual haunting happened after the Annabelle case.
I hate that.
So it was attached. Lorraine and Ed are, like, haunted in real life, but also the actors that played Ed and Lorraine are, like, haunted by a 3-clawed demon, which just so a demon that haunts Annabelle, it has 3 claws.
Yeah, and Annabelle hurts people.
Yeah.
We keep getting into the topic of Annabelle, but, like...
We're definitely going to have to go into Annabelle.
Oh, 100%. Everybody has done an episode on Annabelle at some point, but, like, the details are what make it the scariest. You know, it's the 3 claws. It's the fact that
so much that
actress
the little
was
stuff.
Injured. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people probably don't connect it to this because you wouldn't think that the movie about a totally different case by actors would be haunted by something with 3 claws just because Annabelle was. But the fact that if you start from here and then look back, like what I was doing, I just remembered that, and I had to go back and look it up to be like, wait, no, that 3 claws, that's throwing
because
me.
that was, it was on their friend's back, wasn't it, or his chest?
Oh, the one who comes with them.
Because wait, I'm blanking, but isn't the story of Annabelle like that there were the 2 nurses or whatever, the demon haunted the doll, yes, but they had a friend sleep over, and Annabelle really hated their friend.
It's something like that.
And he woke up one night and she was on top of him, and when he woke up the next morning, there was the claws on his chest. Yeah. And he still has those scars.
Hers weren't like scratches, but they were bruises. So it seemed like something was pushing, like dragging. Yeah. And the way she described it, like what unsettled her the most was that it seemed like it had long claws or long fingers.
I'm gonna throw up.
And I didn't get the direct quote, but that was like something she said was like the worst thing. It didn't hurt. She didn't wake up like when it happened. She just woke up the next morning and noticed it. But she said the most unsettling thing is how long it was. The fingers seemed on the claw mark.
I'm gonna throw up. I keep saying that, but I hate that.
I didn't like that it happened on her screen, and then after filming happened on her
body.
So it was like a threat, and then a following through of the threat.
That was me throwing up.
Oh no!
I hate that. I hate that.
One of the writer's wife noticed a weird water puddle in the house. And they just kind of wrote it off as the dog, not like just spilled water or something. But then the puddle kept appearing in the same spot for no reason. Like the dog
wasn't like a leak.
Yeah, there was nothing on the ceiling where it looked like a leak. The dog's water bowl wasn't near it. The dog didn't really sleep there much or anything, so it wasn't like a puddle of dog drool. And it was a pretty decently sized puddle, and it was the same spot every time in the house. It wasn't by a sink.
Weird.
Wasn't by a bathroom. Was just kind of situated not by anywhere that would make water. And it just kept appearing, and they just kept cleaning it up, and it just kept going. They eventually went to Lorraine Warren, like the real Lorraine. Warren. Yeah. And they kind of concluded that it was a water poltergeist. And these poltergeists are known for feeding off strong energy, emotional energy. And the wife said when she heard that, she almost freaked out because their teenage kid was going through a very emotional and turbulent time, more so than any other time. And this poltergeist from the movie had attached itself to them to feed off that energy is what they figured out with the real Lorraine Warren.
That is just it checks every box for me.
I just like that the poltergeist's whole thing was I'm gonna spill some water.
Well, poltergeists are fucked up because they interact with the world, right?
Yeah,
that's the distinction between a poltergeist and just a spirit.
I want to know how he got the water there, or she. How they.
We don't gender the poltergeist?
How they got the water there.
Well,
because it wasn't like they just turned on a sink. It was reportedly by nowhere that water could easily get to. And they said that it was such strong energy from this teenage kid in the house that the poltergeist could just make some water.
I forget if I said it on the podcast or if this conversation happened between us when we were talking about starting the podcast, but there was a school for a while, a department of a university that was tasked with investigating paranormal activity. And one of the things that they said was the most active spirits, if it's very active and it's hurting people and it's interacting with the world, it means that someone in the vicinity is exuding enough energy for it to latch on to.
That's why I've seen in a lot of ghost hunting videos, they'll bring flashlights and people started bringing tasers. Yep, because they have such a strong energy and say feed off of this. And that's when stuff starts really picking up because they need, a lot of times it's electrical too because what it reminds me of is the electromagnetic theory of ghosts, which we talked a couple episodes ago. Where ghosts exist on an energy level, but they exist in the vibes.
No, literally.
And I think that's so cool that they can sap energy from something. And that's why in a lot of like ghost stories, they say my phone died out of nowhere. My camera died out of nowhere.
Because it needs something. It can't just exist on its own.
It's getting some kind of pull, just like our phones need a charge.
Yeah.
Their energy needs a similar charge. And it all works off wavelengths. So why wouldn't it work?
And it can feed off of like electricity and stuff, but it can also feed off people.
Why the lights flicker? Because they're feeding off the energy of the house. Why the breaker box breaks in every horror story. They're sapping the energy from the house.
Even our ghost stories.
The reason
take place
that
at the breaker box in your house, it's always that fucking breaker box.
It's always the back room by the breaker box.
But a fucking fuse box. If your parents are listening to this right now, your house is haunted.
It's a little haunted, I think.
It's a little haunted, and it is the back room by the breaker box.
It's got to be haunted.
Uncle Dave, I need you to know it's haunted at your tiki bar.
The tiki bar.
It's the tiki bar.
I didn't even think about that. The poor tiki. Their tikis bring like good luck though. They like, so maybe it'll help. The tiki bar will ward off the ghost.
I hope so, for everyone's sake.
That's what it is.
Okay. So.
All right. So that's like the end of that one. That's like all the information I can get on it, which I was upset about because I was like, water poltergeist, that's cool. Mm-hmm. But then they were like, yeah, there's a water ghost. Anyway. And so I looked up a couple more articles, and they kind of all had the same like surface value information on that one. This next one was kind of freaky to me.
Oh, no.
During a set visit, Chad Hayes, one of the writers, one of the actual parent children, old, like they weren't a child at this point, they were a little older, but looks him dead in the eyes and says, quote, "Something really bad is going to happen out here today," end quote. And later that day, her mother, the real Carolyn Perrin, fell and broke her hip, which wasn't a ghost thing. But that kid had like a premonition of bad things. But also to have a haunted child sit there and tell you, like someone who had been haunted in the past, sit there and tell you, look you dead in the face and say, something bad's going to happen. And then my heart would stop when they told me, like before the bad stuff even happened. And I believe that it happened on set. I couldn't find like any like accident report saying where it happened. Mm-hmm. But from the articles I read, I do believe that she fell on set.
It's the concept of having the actual family there on set along with the actors too. One of
the parent children, like they either went and just like left because they said it was creepily accurate.
I hate that.
The writers and the director, they did their research and like to the point where it was unsettling to the family because it was scary accurate, like the house and the sets and the rooms.
Didn't the same thing, and I might be wrong, but I'm 90% sure the exact same thing happened with the Amityville horror movie, where they had people, like the family members of the Amityville haunting, leave and say, like, no, like, that's what it looked like. That's
too
what
real.
Happened.
What was the one where I think it was The Exorcist. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on this. Another cursed movie, though. Mm-hmm. They had the set catch on fire, and one of the only rooms to not be touched was the room where the exorcism happens. Oh. It was perfectly untouched by the fire.
Hate that.
The rest of the set, like, burned. And this room that was reportedly scary accurate was fine.
No, thank you.
I think that one. I think it's The Exorcist. That one's not in my research, so don't go. That was just something I'm remembering off my head.
Yeah, we're going on a lot of tangents for this story, but it's pulling a lot of shit. It's interesting.
I love the tangents.
I'm vibing.
It shows we really are just obsessively.
No, literally.
Look into this stuff. We are obsessively. We are
looking. A Rolodex of information.
Just random. We'll pull stuff out of any song lyric and be like, "Do you remember that case?"
No, literally.
It's so bad.
Tell me more.
I really liked this one because it was scary in the recreated Warren's Artifact Room because they did have a set version of the Artifact Room. Many people, including cast members and the producer, Rob Cohen, reported that a wooden pig statue kept moving around the room.
Hate that.
They would have it in one place, leave, and come back, and it'd be in a different place.
Hate that.
And they really noticed it for, like, continuity in the movie. Yeah. They'd be like, why the heck is this pig statue moving? Right. And they said, like, it was enough that they were like, this one's haunted. We can make a whole, like, jokingly said, we'll make a whole spin-off movie on this haunted pig. Because, a lot of people reported that this pig would be in one place and then everybody would leave and come back for the next scene they were shooting.
Yeah.
And it'd be somewhere different.
You know,
It totally could have been someone moving it, but I like to believe that the wooden pig statue is haunted.
I was about to say, I totally believe it's a ghost, but I also totally believe it was a PA just trying to have fun.
Yeah, someone
Like-
or some like set designer being like, "Oh, if I move this, it'll be moving in the background of the movie. They'll love it, but I'm not going to tell anybody."
And then they,
And they just like gave everybody nightmares. They were probably trying to do good.
I wonder what the significance of like 2 of the pig, if there is
I
significance.
just hated that it was like a fake artifact of
Yeah.
the Warrens. Just like I fake in air quotes, the actors that played the Warrens weren't the
Yeah.
real Warrens, so they could be seen as these fake Warrens, and their fake artifacts were also like haunted,
Yeah.
and they were also like attacked by a demon attached
Yeah.
to the real Warrens because they were these fake Warrens.
Yeah. Absolutely no thank you.
That's a weird concept to me. And like I said earlier, this is where I get into Conjuring 2. But because so much happened on Conjuring, the first Conjuring movie, they had the set blessed beforehand, and they believe that that's why less stuff happened on it. They were like, look, we had a lot happen. There was like claw marks and weird stuff and a water poltergeist at one point. Can you just like come bless the set real quick? So they got a priest to come out and bless the set of the Conjuring 2. But there are still reports of a couple people, and I believe the director, hearing drilling and hammering underneath the stage when no one was working. No one was scheduled to be working. They would go down and check, and no one was working. It was after the set was built, but they still hear like these tools and stuff going on under the stage. From the research I did, nobody died building the set or anything. So it wasn't like a recent ghost, but these set buildings are reused over and over again. So it could have been an old accident of like that would cause this ghost.
Yeah.
But I just hated that. Like you're trying to film and be like, who's making all that racket?
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Nobody. It's a ghost with a drill.
Shut the
That's
fuck
scary.
up. Ghost?
Ghost with a power tool coming at you? Mm-mm. He's armed and dangerous.
He's armed and dangerous. Strapped.
A weird one for Conjuring 2. And this is my last one, sadly. But there was a photographer that came to photograph the set, and they do that. Like a lot of movies have the sets. They take pictures of the sets. He had also worked on the movie Insidious. And when he started taking pictures on his camera for the movie, all of the Insidious pictures reappeared on his camera. Weren't saved on the camera, weren't saved on the laptop, weren't saved on the iPad he had, and he says he couldn't delete it off the camera no matter how many times he tried.
Goosebumps. My whole body just erupted in goosebumps.
I hated that. To have another horror movie come and haunt you while you're working on a different horror movie.
No, thank you.
But yeah,
no.
That's my cursed Conjuring movie report for you.
That's fun.
It was a little shorter, but I really enjoyed it. So
I'm just a sucker for like horror movies.
I really like the whole. I've read the other ones so much, like the really popular ones. So I really enjoyed reading this one because it was kind of a little bit more laid back, but it still had enough to like be interesting. If that makes sense.
And it's like it also plays into a lot of other things, you know, like no one died, but 3 claw marks.
Yeah.
Like tying back into Annabelle, tying back into the Holy Trinity.
I don't like the connection to the Warrens.
Yeah.
Like so much that they were so scared that they called the real Warrens in.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
And the Warrens have gone through like a lot. Like the most famous story I remember is the one where I forget what case it was, but do you know what I'm talking? When Lorraine had that vision. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Of like Ed dying or something? The one she won't say what it is, isn't it?
And in the movie, they turned it into Ed dying.
But in real life, she never said what it was before she died.
Because in reality, like, Lorraine is a medium who is super sensitive to ghosts and spirits and entities, whatever. Ed is a priest who is also a demonologist. And, like, that's their correlation. So Lorraine can go in and sense what's going on, whether it's a ghost, whether it's a demon, whatever. And if it's a demon, Ed can step in, exorcise it, whatever. And he's blessed, so it's easier for him to stomach some things. But there was one story of I believe it was during an exorcism. I know for sure it's during an exorcism in the movie, but I can't remember if that's also true to reality. Is Lorraine had a vision that really fucked her up. And she locked herself in her room for, I believe, 7 days and wouldn't come out, wouldn't speak to anybody, and to this day, I mean, obviously she's passed, but to this day has never told a single soul, including Ed, what she saw, and won't ever tell anybody what she saw.
Yeah, there's no
because
way
it
we'll
was
know.
just that messed up. And it took place during an exorcism. So God only knows what that could be. Literally. But during the movie, they've turned it into her predicting Ed's death. Which was cool. Like,
an interesting take on it.
If you're going to make it into something, I'm glad it was that.
Yeah. And also, it'd be such a cop-out to, like, not do anything with it.
Yeah.
If you're already, like, fantasizing some aspects of the movie,
yeah.
do something there to, like, don't leave that loose end. In real life, it's totally understandable.
Oh, yeah,
But for a movie, I would say I'm glad they did something.
Mm-hmm.
And something so powerful.
The movies are also pretty good. Like, I've seen a few of them. I did not watch Annabelle, though.
I haven't.
I've heard very negative things. But I didn't watch it because, like, I'm familiar with the case. And the fact that she is not a Raggedy Ann doll makes me so mad.
It's less scary.
Right.
To have a rigid doll play something that moves is
and
so much
Annabelle
less.
The movie is also big.
Yeah. It was a little doll that had all this power. And a doll that can't stand on its own walking is so much scarier than a doll that can stand on its own being made to look like it walked.
Yeah. And also in the movie...
There's a lot of laughter coming.
But also in the movie, she's also, like, locked in a closet that's lined with Bible quotes. And, like, they make it a thing. And it's like, dude, the real case, the reason it was so scary was because she was pretending. Like, Annabelle comes in and haunts this doll that is a gift, because I just remember the girl was a nurse and it was a gift from her mom, and she always kept the Raggedy Ann on her bed. And then the Raggedy Ann starts moving, notes start being left around. They call in a priest, a medium, someone, and they tell them that it is the spirit of a child. So the girls willfully say, like, okay, you can stay, because they think it's a little girl.
And it was a demon pretending to be one.
Right. It was a demon who really intended to hurt them and did hurt them multiple times. Like the story of the guy who woke up with Annabelle literally
Unless it's
on
a little
his
girl.
chest.
It's a little girl pretending to be a demon that's pretending to be a little girl.
Whoa.
Like it's a double agent kind of thing.
Let's write the sequel.
We're writing an Annabelle fan fiction.
Whoa. A creepypasta. Full circle.
We did it. We finished the episode. We can stop.
But yeah, that story really fucks me up. And like the fact that I'm Annabelle specifically, like I hate that story because it's been told so many times. Like I could recite it in my sleep at this point. But most people forget that like these artifacts haunted the Warrens after the fact too.
Yeah, they kept things that had demons attached to them.
Yeah. There's a reason that their whole house is blessed. Like, it was a lot.
And there was so much to get into the museum. You had to get blessed to go into the museum because it was a dangerous thing.
And, like, when they brought Annabelle back from the house, they put Annabelle in the back seat in the middle, which is already just a fucked up image, and buckled her in. Mm-hmm. Like, Annabelle was a passenger. And on the way back from the place to Annabelle's house, they almost died 4 times
I don't
in
remember
car
the number,
accidents.
but it was a couple.
Like Annabelle really likes car accidents, and like there's so many stories of people going into the museum and insulting her and dying.
Yeah,
like just straight up,
or getting hurt,
or
getting in a car accident, like we said.
Yeah. It's kind of like similar to Robert the doll. Like people come back to apologize to her and beg her to stop hurting them.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the Warrens, they really were literally doing God's work. They literally said, no, stop haunting people. And, like, the Conjuring stuff, like,
Yeah, that it can be traced so far down the line of the Warrens, that fake Warrens were getting haunted by the demon with 3 claws.
Did the Warrens work on the Amityville case? They didn't, right?
I'm not sure. I can't tell you.
I can't remember. It's just in, like, the same category in my head.
Yeah, it's a big case.
Yeah, it's huge. Dude, man, fuck that. Man, Have you watched The Haunting of Hill House yet?
No, I know I need to.
Please do yourself a favor.
I'm gonna get into it. I know I am.
I can't emphasize enough how well done it is. Because, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's based on a lot of those cases of, like, the Warrens and, like, Amityville and all that stuff. It pulls a lot. And because of that, it's like it pulls the best of everything. It's really fucking scary. And not, like, jump scare kind of scary. Like, Just watch it. Just watch it.
I will. I need to. I know I do.
And Bly Manor is also really good. Which
you tell me that every time I'm here, and I write it down mentally. I just haven't had time.
No, I got you. But I guarantee you, once you start, you will not be able to stop.
Oh yeah,
like,
I love stuff like that.
It's addictive. Speaking of, I know last week I talked about it. I finished BoJack Horseman, and wow. I cried.
At work, right?
Yes. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I recommended it last episode. Don't do it. Not
if you've already watched all of it in between, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, cry about it, wimp.
Like, you cried.
I cried. I cried so hard. It was that, and I rewatched Bo Burnham bits and cried because I love Bo Burnham.
Oh no.
Bo Burnham was my senior quote.
What was mine? Dr. Seuss.
What was it?
Red fish, blue fish, because my sister was one fish, two fish.
Hate that.
Look, if you have a twin, you at least got to do it, you know? I had to. There was no way I was passing up the opportunity to do a 2-part quote.
Mm-hmm.
And the nonsense of just doing one fish, two fish.
Red fish, blue fish.
It was perfect.
My year, I don't remember who did it, but somebody just did redacted in brackets.
That's so funny. My favorite one in our yearbook, it says, "Don't follow your dreams, follow me on Instagram at," and their
That's
Instagram
funny.
handle. That was so good.
That was funny. My class, my broadcasting class, started like trying to push the boundaries of what they would print. Because, you know, the paper, it's like what clubs you were in, what you were a part of, officers, yada, yada, yada. My friends just started writing nonsense to see what they would print in the yearbook. Like, one of them wrote ringleader, and they put it. Like, it's in our yearbook.
That's so good.
Yeah. It's funny.
So fun. There's some good ones in mine. I just don't remember them off the top of my head except that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, like, cackling reading it because some people had some good stuff. But, yeah, that's episode 8. Done.
Oh my God, we just did episode 8.
We're moving through them. That's what I'm saying. It feels like we've done so much in such little time because we have. It's been moving.
I mean, we post an episode a week.
That's pretty good to like come out swinging, come out of the gate.
I'm very happy.
And the first 3 were in the same week.
Yeah.
So that's a lot in such a little time.
I'm thriving. Like, I'm just really proud of us.
A lot more content. We were talking about TikTok stuff earlier today.
Yeah.
So a lot more stuff's going to be rolling out as soon as we can get, like, we had to, like, finish with our finals. So we kind of let ourselves be lax on the other stuff. But now we're in summer, baby. We're going to be spamming stuff out.
Y'all ain't ready.
We took ghost pictures today.
Yeah, now I have a heat headache.
We,
so hot.
Other episodes recorded this trip, and then we're coming back soon for another trip to get some episodes done. Content's going to be coming your way so fast. So I'm telling you, I say it every time. Go follow us on all the things.
Everything.
It's all linked in Instagram. There's a link tree in the bio. You can go there. You can find everything, and it's going to be fun.
That. And, like, Discord, and, you know, we say it every time. Like, just keeping up with us now is the smartest thing to do, because when we do pop off, you'll be ahead of the game.
You'll know what's up.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, no. And, like, we'll let you know when we do Twitch and stuff, because we do plan to do Twitch. It's not linked there yet because we don't have it.
I want to stream so bad.
But when we get there, it's going to be great. So you can be ahead of the game, and you'll be one of the first people to know if you follow us on Instagram and stuff, because that's where we're going to put it first.
Side note, add me on Animal Crossing.
All right. Self-promo your Animal Crossing real quick.
I don't remember my friend code.
Never mind. We'll do that next episode.
No, I just want more friends on Animal Crossing.
Put it on the Instagram.
Bet. It reminded me because I was on Twitch the other day and I was watching like Dude, it freaked me the fuck out because usually I watch like really big Twitch streamers, like hundreds of thousands of viewers. I joined a Twitch stream for treasure islands, and like the whole thing is like if you join the stream, you'll be able to find the dodo code to get onto the island and go in. You pick up everything and then drop it so you can catalog it. And I joined and I followed because I was like, oh, this guy's funny and he does treasure islands, and he like said my name. I was like,
oh, I love going.
There was like 30 viewers, and he was like, thank you for the follow, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
no, I loved going on little streams.
I'm being perceived.
Oh, wow.
No, don't look at me. I'm not real.
Ooh, but yeah, episode 8, done.
Done.
Bam.
Boom.
Goodbye, good night. Hope you enjoyed this one.
Grim Grin and Ghost.
We both did kind of like new stuff we haven't done before. A
Yeah.
creepypasta and a cursed movie. We both unknowingly were like, we're changing it up a little bit for 8.
Let's switch it up.
But yeah.
And next episode is going to be fun, and we have a surprise.
Jinx on episode 10.
We're going to have something special for the double digits, so tune in for that.
Yeah, be looking forward to that when it comes your way.
All right.
Done. Bam.
Good night. Were they even listening?
Oh.
Adam, did you draw?
Yeah, we can't forget that. We forgot it.
We forgot it last week. Adam, did you draw?
Hold it up.
Put it up to the window.
I can't see. Let me go close. I'll yell it out for the crowd.
What does that say?
Aaron name drop. It's the punch card for Aaron.
Aaron, it's your punch card. He drew your punch card for how many name drops there are. All right, now it's good night.
Now it's good night. We can edit out some of the good nights. Yeah.